How's it going, my fellow collectors? It's me again, coming at you with another brand new review, guys. And as you can see, the figure in front of you is the Hot Toys Marty McFly from Back to the Future Part 2. And it is the MMS 379. So let's get this review going, and we're going to start off with the first category, which is the source information. I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with this franchise, the Back to the Future franchise. It's got a lot of fans everywhere. I'm not just talking about the United States. It's pretty popular around the world. Everybody and their grandma has seen these movies, I mean. But for those of you that aren't familiar with the movie, it's about this teenage kid, which is played by Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly. He's really good friends with a scientist or doctor, Dr. Emmett Brown, who creates a time machine out of a DeLorean car. It all starts when he accidentally goes back in time to the 1950s. He messes up the timeline of when his parents were still young. So he basically accidentally prevents them from falling in love with each other because he interferes. So he has to try and fix that, otherwise him and his brothers won't exist. And you see at the end of the movie, he slowly starts to disappear because his parents never get married. But luckily he fixes it in time to where they do end up falling in love with each other. So I always did like the franchise. I liked all three movies. Part 2 is my favorite, only because that's the movie that I started out with. It was the first Back to the Future movie that I saw, and I was probably about 5 or 6 years old when I saw it for the first time. And I loved it. I loved the story. I loved the plot and everything. So this movie goes under one of the classics. And it still holds very high up in my point of view. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. And let me just talk you guys through this pose. I have him in... I try to go for the pose where he just bought the sports almanac, and he says to himself, "I can't lose." And Doc Brown is coming up behind him, so he's trying to put it away, put the sports almanac away as quickly as possible before Doc sees him with the book. That's what I tried to go for. So, one category down, a few more to go. Stick with me, guys, and I'll be back. Alright, so we've reached the category of packaging. And I guess it's I'd say it's average packaging. I do like the design though. They decided to put the DeLorean in this time. I never owned the first Hot Toys Marty McFly that came out from part 1 of Back to the Future. But I did see some reviews on it, and it does look similar to this. But I believe it's in reverse, the picture from the first one compared to this one. In the first one, you just see the fire trails on the road, and you see the time machine or the DeLorean all the way in the background, like somewhere around here. So they got the DeLorean time machine in the foreground this time, and you see the lightning and dark sky, and you see some of the fire trails right there on the road. And this time machine is different than the one from part 1. As you can see, it's got the Mr. Fusion cover up here, and this is the Sideshow exclusive version of Marty McFly from Back to the Future Part 2. The difference between the exclusive and the general one is that this one comes with the wild gun, the arcade gun, and it comes with 2 extra hands for holding that gun. That's pretty much the only difference, I believe, compared to the general Marty McFly. So you got that sticker there, and then it says Back to the Future Part 2. And then on the DeLorean hood, you see that it says Marty McFly, Movie Masterpiece Series, MMS 379 1/6 scale collectible figure. And on the very bottom left-hand corner, it says Hot Toys Movie Masterpiece Series. We got both logos right there. And on one side, on the very bottom, it says Marty McFly, MMS 379 1/6 scale collectible figure. And then you got some stripes that run along all the side here, and they wrap around almost the entire box here. On the very top, you see that it says Back to the Future Part 2 again. And then you get the same thing on the other side, Marty McFly. You got more stripes that run along the bottom. And the bottom looks exactly like the top. It has the Back to the Future Part 2 logo, more stripes. And then when you turn it around, on the very top it says Back to the Future Part 2 again. You get more stripes right here, and you get another design over here that kind of reminds me of a speedometer on whatever type of car. And you got the Hot Toys logo again. Warnings and choking hazards and such. You got the Secret Base logo right there. Toy Hunters logo. You got the barcode right there. Marty McFly, MMS 379 1/6 scale collectible figure. More stripes. And you got another speedometer type looking image right here. And then you also get the flux capacitor symbol right there. And then once we open it up, it's basically your basic shoebox style design. If I could get this open with one hand, that'd be great. Okay, so I wasn't able to get that open one-handed, but once you do open the top cover off, you get a design that looks like Marty's hoverboard, all pink and green, and in the very middle here you get the cast and crew responsible for making the figure. So Once you open that slip cover off, you get the clamshell or blister that reveals the figure and all of his accessories. But other than that, that's what you get. So yeah, not a bad design. I do like the slipcover design of the hoverboard. That's pretty cool. But other than that, it's just like your average Hot Toys shoebox box. So for that, it's going to get a 6 out of 10. So stick with me, guys, and we'll continue on. Alright, so now we've reached the category of likeness. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm really happy with the outcome of this head sculpt. The creator of the design of the head sculpt, not the paint, but just the head sculpt, was Yuli. Now, she is a very talented artist. She designed most of all the Terminator figures, the Arnold Schwarzenegger T-800. I think she did all of them. I may be mistaken, but she worked on a lot of them. I know that for sure. So her tackling this character, now I know she's very talented, because not only can she do Arnold Schwarzenegger's likeness, but now she can also do Michael J. Fox. And I'm really impressed, because the likeness on this is very good. Now, as I've said before, I never owned the first Back to the Future Marty McFly from part 1 that came out from Hot Toys. But I did see images and reviews on it, and that was one of the reasons why I decided not to get it, because I didn't really like how the head sculpt came out. It's not that it didn't look like him, it's just I didn't really like the expression on him. And this one by far is 100% accurate, I'm gonna say, to Michael J. Fox. Whereas that one was, I'm gonna say, about 90% accurate. So big improvement from the first version of Marty McFly compared to this second version. A lot of people will disagree with me, but that's just my opinion. So for the likeness, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. And if you guys didn't know, you can swap out the hairpiece so he can wear this hat. It's like a iridescent colored hat, very shiny. And he looks good both ways, with or without the hat. So that's really good that it turned out that way. Because sometimes some figures, they just, if you add an accessory like a hat, it just ruins the figure. It makes it look not as accurate as it would without the hat, or vice versa. Like, it could look even better with the hat, but worse without it. So on this particular figure, it looks good either way. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Even with, like, you can see how the hat kind of shapes the hair. You see how it's kind of bushy on the back of his head there. So that's really nice. So Knocked out another category. Stay tuned for the next, guys. Okay, so now we're talking outfit. Let's just start off with the good things about this outfit. So I really love his jacket. It's awesome. There's nothing bad about it. The material that they use, I don't know what they use, but it's really good. Very accurate to the movie. You can see the buttons here almost at the end of the zipper here. You know, when he pushes one of them to dry himself off after he fell into the water. All of that is there. The material, as I said, is really nice. Also, I don't know, like, I left him posed overnight with his elbow bent, and I don't know, it just got oily. I don't know if that has to do with the material of the jacket, but yeah, be on the lookout for that. On the bottom, all around the bottom of the jacket, it's got a wire running through it, so you can pose it as if he's riding the hoverboard like he is right now. You can pose it to where it looks like the wind's blowing his jacket. So that's really nice. The shirt is okay. Like, it rolls up right here on the bottom. So, yeah, see, you can see what it does. So, I don't know. I don't think that should be happening. I think it should be like an actual shirt where it's folded in inwards, and it shouldn't be rolling up as it is right here, right now. And then we move on to the pants. The pockets that turn inside out, it's pretty good. I really like it, how they tailored that. It's really nice. So, points for that. And the shoes. The shoes are really cool. I do like them a lot. They do have magnets on the bottom of them so they can stick to the hoverboard. The hoverboard has magnets also, so it could stick to the feet. That was a really good idea of Hot Toys. Yeah, the design of the shoes is really nice. So, the hat. This hat is really nice. As I said before, it's this iridescent color. Rainbowish type color. I do believe it's very accurate to the movie. Some people think that it's not, but I do. So they did a really good job with that, and it fits on the head very nicely. So props to Hot Toys for being able to do that. Now we're going to talk about the things I didn't like about the outfit. So I said it already about the shirt. I don't like the bottom of it, how it's rolling up like that. The pants are a few too many shades, too light. So they could have put a few tones darker blue on the pants. If you look at the prototype photos, his pants did look a little darker than they do right here, right now. So there's that. And then another big thing I didn't like about the outfit was his watch. If I just pull it out here, I didn't put it on him just to show you guys the problem that I had with this watch. So if you take a look at it, there is no detail at all. I mean, what the heck, Hot Toys? Really? This is what you're gonna give us? There's no numbers on the face of the digital watch. Like, at least they could have put an actual time there. They could have put the numbers on the buttons, because it's like a calculator watch, you know, those ones that they wore in the 80s. But there's completely nothing at all. They didn't even paint it. It's all one color. You know, at least you could have painted the straps where it closes. If anyone owns the Commando figure, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando figure, John Matrix, you guys see that he has a watch as well, but that one is totally detailed. It's got the date. It says like SA standing for Saturday, and then you know, you see the minute hand and the hour hand, and you got some tiny numbers on there and everything. And they even painted the bottom section where the strap of the watch where it can hook in. They painted that a metallic silver color. And this one, it doesn't have anything at all. Man. I mean, who's gonna wanna show it like this? Oh man, so yeah, that's my huge gripe with it. The other thing is that when you actually put it on the figure, it really gets in the way with the jacket. So sometimes you can hardly see it when he's wearing it. The only time you'll be able to actually see it is when he doesn't have his jacket on. So you can try to pull up the sleeves from the jacket, but they really don't go up that much. So yeah, a few missed opportunities there with Hot Toys. Now, everything else besides that is pretty good. Besides the things that I mentioned, I mean. So as for the outfit, I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. And if I just talk you guys through the pose, obviously he's in the hoverboard chase scene with Griff Tannen and his gang. Really nice. So alright, so we're gonna roll on to the next category. Okay, so we've made it to the category of articulation. And you can pretty much tell if you guys look at the body proportions and the elbow joints. You can pretty much tell it is a narrow shoulder true type body. I believe it is the slim type. I mean, he is pretty short when you compare him to other figures, but that is accurate to the way Michael J. Fox, his height, he really isn't that tall, so I think they got it right on that note. But since it is a standard true type slim body, narrow shoulder, he is very, very well articulated. I'll start off with the top on the head. His neck, there is a division in the jaw, underneath the jaw area, and I believe also on the bottom of the neck there's also another division. Going down from there, he's got a butterfly joint in the shoulder. He can do shoulder shrugs, bicep swivel. He's got that. Double bend elbows. He's got your basic Hot Toys wrist joints. Very good ab crunch, forward and backward. Hip swivel, he does turn a very good amount on that. As for the ab crunch, it's not too annoyingly loose, but it is pretty loose on mine. I don't know if it's just my figure or if it's a general problem. But when I got him in the mail, that was the first thing I noticed when I took him out of the package, that he does flop around a little in the abdomen area. So be mindful of that if it is a general problem with all the Marty McFly figures. Just watch out for that. The crotch to hip articulation is pretty good as well. It's about as well as you would expect from a true type body. Very good. I 90-degree kick forward. I believe it is a 90-degree kick backward as well. Thigh swivel. Double bend knees. And as for the ankle articulation, is very good on that too. As for when he's wearing the shoes, it's got decent articulation since it doesn't have a cut at the high heel shoe. So I think there's certain things that you can't do, but for the most part it's good. I haven't had any problems yet with the ankle articulation, so that's a good note. But yeah, that's about it. Everything except for that ab crunch, I just wish it wasn't that loose. I wish it'd be a little bit tighter on that. But other than that, it's good. So I'm just gonna knock it down 1 point for that. So it gets a 9 out of 10. And I'll just talk you guys through this pose. For this pose, I do wish I had the DeLorean. And I'm not talking about the DeLorean from part 1 that Hot Toys made. I'm really hoping that sometime soon they will release the Mr. Fusion DeLorean, the hover conversion. So if you guys can imagine Marty sitting on the driver's seat, that's kind of what I went for with this pose. He's doing what Doc told him: put on the jacket and the shoes. When he has the Nike footwear clothing tube, I guess you would call it. So he's getting ready to put on the shoes. And as you can see, I got the other shoe in there. The jacket does not fit in the tube, in case you guys were wondering. It's just too big. And I do like the tube because you can see through it just like you could in the movie, through the sides. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the articulation category. So stay tuned, guys, and we will roll on to the next category. Okay, so now we're talking accessories. So let me just start by running down what he has, what comes with the figure. He's got a total of 10 hands. He has a pair of relaxed hands which come on him out of the box. He's got one left hand that's spread open like he's balancing himself when he's riding the hoverboard. He's got one right hand. I don't know exactly what it's for. I'm assuming that it's for twirling the Wild Gunman arcade gun, because when you open the package, that hand does come with the revolver, like right beside it. And then you got a pair of hands for, I believe they're used for holding the hoverboard. And he's got one of them on him right now. I'm using it like he's cocking the Wild Gunman gun. And then he's got a pair of hands used for either holding the Pepsi bottle or newspaper or almanac or the plastic bag for the almanac. And then you got another left hand that is also used for either holding the hoverboard, or you can hold the newspaper or almanac in it. And then you got a spare pair of wrist pegs. You got a USA Today newspaper, the newspaper that Doc Brown had to show Marty when it changed. This is what it changed into. At first, it said that, I believe it said something about local youth that was jailed, and that was Marty's son. But then it changed into this, and it says, gang jailed, hoverboard rampage destroys courthouse. And then in smaller lettering it says, gang leader, I was framed. And then you have a picture of Griff Tannen getting arrested along with his gang buddies. So I really like the way Hot Toys did this. They did like really small text printing for this newspaper. They, as you can see, let me just zoom out here. So you can see it's like an actual newspaper. I think if you can't really see too good, but I believe no, you can't really read the lettering. You'd need like a magnifying glass to see what it says on there. But it's good detail nonetheless. So it's, like I said, it's a actual newspaper. When you open it, you can see all the detail, all the pictures and everything. Really nice. So it's like printed on every side. Really good coverage with the detail on that. So I do like that. And then you get the Gray's Sports Almanac. So really nice detail on that too. When you open it, it does have lettering and text in it and such. But just like the newspaper, I believe it is a little too small to read with the naked eye. And it also comes with the cover. You can pull it off. But I just wish that the actual booklet did come in the same color as the cover, the red, instead of being black and white, because in the actual movie I do believe the actual booklet itself was also in color, in the red color. So I just wish they did that. That's my only nitpick about the almanac, but it's good nonetheless. And then you get the plastic bag that Marty had the almanac in when he bought it from the store. So as you can see, the store was named Blast from the Past, and it's where Marty kept the almanac in. Comes with that. Then he comes with this huge base, which is supposed to depict, I guess, where Marty was on the hoverboard, and he was just floating on it, because just like one of Griff's gang buddies said to Marty McFly, hoverboards don't work on water. So that's what Hot Toys was going for when they made this base. And then you got the flight pole You know, I really wish that it's nice that they gave us this base, but I just wish that it would have came with a normal stand too, because I mean, he's not going to be on the hoverboard all the time. And the other complaint I have is that when you put the figure grabber, the hook that goes around the figure to hold it up in place, that doesn't actually go around the jacket, so it kind of gets in the way. Basically, the jacket, it just gets in the way of the pole, and you can't really pose it with it. So that's why I just wish they would have included a regular stand. And if they didn't want to do that, at least take this base out and leave the regular stand. I would have been happy with that. So you get that with the nice nameplate on it. Marty McFly with Back to the Future 2 with a little lightning effect on the nameplate. And then also you get the Pepsi bottle. Pretty nice, I guess. Not too much detail, but it's basically how it looked in the movie, except for it doesn't say Pepsi on it. That's another thing I need to mention. None of this, his accessories, his clothing, none of it, except for maybe the USA Today and the Greatest Sports Almanac. It doesn't have logos on anything. Like his shoes is supposed to say Nike, it's supposed to have the swish on the side. It doesn't have any of that. Obviously, just like I said on the Pepsi bottle, it doesn't have the Pepsi logo on it. The hoverboard, it doesn't have the Mattel logos on the red circles here. How it should have been in, you know, accuracy of the movie, that's how it's supposed to be, but because of licensing and copyrights and such, Hot Toys wasn't able to do that. So it's really sad that that went that way. I believe they did try to work something out with Nike and Mattel and Pepsi, but I guess they didn't want to play ball, so we're stuck with unlabeled accessories. Also, the clothing tube doesn't come with anything. I'm sorry, it doesn't come with the logo that's supposed to be on it, the Nike logo. So that's a real bummer. But the hoverboard itself is really nicely detailed. Comes with the foot strap that you can insert the foot into, and really nice detail on the bottom of the board as well. It's just a plastic, that's all it's made of, and it does have magnets on the inside of it, so you can stick the feet onto and it can hold it up while he's in flight mode, I guess you would call it. So that's really nice. And moving to the footwear clothing tube, it does open, as you can see. Really nice that Hot Toys was able to do that for us, make it open and close. So you got that, and then you get the iridescent baseball cap, which I showed you guys before. Really nice detail on that as well. I think they got the color right and everything on it, and it looks good on the figure. So, and then finally you get the instruction manual. There's not really much to say in the instruction manual. All it really does is teach you how to change the hair pieces and the baseball cap, and how to use the hoverboard for the figure, how to put it on him. It does show that the green piece right here where the foot goes does rotate, so that's nice. But I think that's pretty much it. I think it also talks about the tube, that it does open and close, but it says not to open it too much. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It doesn't go over the articulation of the figure because it's your basic true type body. So you have pretty much free range of posing it however you like. Really no limitations on it, as I stated in the articulation category. But yeah, that's about it. That's all you get. And then, oh, I did forget to mention the gun, the Wild Gunman arcade gun. I really like the way they did this. Let me just zoom in as much as I can here. As you can see, it's got really good detail on it. They weathered it up really nice. It looks like a plastic toy gun, which is what it's supposed to look like. Like, a lot of people use it, you know, it's got chips everywhere on the paint. You get the chain. I wrapped it around the connecting cable, because anybody who's been to an arcade knows that that's how it looks, with the chain wrapped around the connecting cable. So that's the exclusive piece that comes with the Sideshow exclusive Marty McFly figure. So really nice. And also it comes with the trigger finger hand. So if you get the general figure, it will not come with that. So really nice. I'm glad I got this version. But yeah, that's about it for the accessories. I can't really think of anything else it could have come with. Maybe it could have come with the receipt for the almanac. It's just a little square plastic piece of paper. It's like a dark blue color. So I guess it could have come with that, but you know, it's not really necessary. Some things I do wish that it came with. I wish that it came with the checkered flannel shirt that he had with suspenders and his regular Nike shoes. That way he could have had two separate outfits to go with this. But like I said before, I guess that wasn't really necessary, but it would have given you more options. So for the accessories, because of the logo situation, that it didn't come with the Pepsi logo and the Mattel logo and the Nike logos, I might have to knock it down a point. I know it's not really Hot Toys' fault, but I just wish they would have been able to get those licenses, because it does have to do with the accuracy of the movie, and since it doesn't show that in these accessories, it's gonna have to suffer for that because of the accuracy. And like I said before, I know it's not Hot Toys' fault, but yeah, it's gonna have to get a 9 out of 10. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do one more pose with Marty, and I'm gonna round up the scores for this figure. So stay tuned, guys. Okay, so to round up the scores, this figure gets a possible 51 out of 60. And the reason was because it was lacking in some departments of the outfit. I think I knocked it down a point for the accessories, and The articulation, I knocked it down a point for that too because of the loose abdomen crunch. So other than that, it's a good figure all in all. No real complaints besides the one I told you guys about. And for now, I'm just hoping that they come out with the hover conversion DeLorean. They did tease it again one more time in the Tokyo Comic-Con. Hot Toys had a huge display out there. So that gives me hope that they're still gonna come out with that. And once we do get that, this figure would go nicely with the DeLorean. And as for Doc Brown, I don't think I'm gonna be getting him because there's two reasons. I am really running out of space now, and the DeLorean is already going to take up a whole lot of space, and the second reason is because Doc Brown only comes with one expression, and that's a look of surprise where he's got his eyebrows raised up real high and his mouth wide open. That just is not gonna cut it for me, because he's just gonna be stuck in one look, and he's gonna have a limited amount of poses with that. Kind of the same problem what I have with Harley Quinn here. She's only got one expression, and it's pretty much the same problem. She only has a limited amount of poses, so I'm going to be passing on him. But yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching me knock out another review. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so already. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And until next time, guys, I will see you later.